Hello, all. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to get started here in just a couple of minutes, the top of the hour. I'm just kind of setting things up here, so bear with me. We'll get started in just a couple of minutes. Thanks so much. Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for being here on this Thursday. We appreciate it. I'm going to talk a little slowly as I know we still have some people joining. But first, to get started, we are here to discuss Merx. And I want to introduce some people on the call with me. My name is Kim Cullen. I'm the Director of Customer Advocacy, and I'm joined by Dan Albert, who's the Government Account Manager throughout all of Canada. And also to remind you about our vendor support team that is open to you all to be able to send that out to your suppliers whenever they have any questions, or your vendors whenever they have any questions. Always feel free to send them to our vendor support team. They are there 12 hours a day, Monday through Friday, except for national holidays. So this is a listen-only event and webinar, but feel free, please, to ask any questions through the chat or through the Q&A. Ask them whenever you think of them. If there's something that we're talking about that you'd like more information on, that you have a question about, we will feel free. We will hopefully cover that right then and there. If we don't see it, then we will leave some time at the end to go over and review any of those questions for you. So again, use that chat, use that Q&A, and we'll get to your questions at the end. If it's something we do have to take back to our product team or development team, we may tell you that we'll need to follow up with you at a later date. So that being said, before I do this, I guess I should let Dan talk, so it's not just me. Dan, would you like to introduce yourself for those that may not know you? Oh, you're
Yeah.
on mute.
Yeah, I was having trouble with the mute button. I was pressing it consistently and trying to just interrupt you to say hi, but yay. Hi, everyone. My name is Dan, as Kim mentioned. I'm Director of Growth here in Canada. And for those of you that I haven't talked to, I've been with Sovra for over 2 years now, and in procurement for about 5 or 6 years. Prior to this, I was with an implementation firm, and really looking to see how we're currently serving the market here, and how we can definitely serve it better, and how we can make your lives better. So that's kind of why I'm here, to smile and nod. And Kim's the smart one. I'm more the comedy relief in this relationship.
And he's not that funny, so that
Yeah, no,
says
I'm not
something.
good at that either. Yep.
Yeah, so thank you guys again all for being here, including you, Dan. Appreciate the comedic relief. But today we are going to review a few different things. One, Merck's year in review, right? Just kind of sharing with you some different things that happened last year, and then show you some course sourcing and functionality that you may not be using that's open to you right now through the system. Remind you of a couple of things, and then I want to show you what's on the roadmap for the future. And hopefully we're going to have time to kind of tease you on some maturity level information that we have put out a great white paper that I feel like is part, some of you may have been to another webinar through NIGP or CPPC in the past that we've gone over this, but if not, I want to really share with you some e-procurement maturity levels that we've put together to have you start to gauge where you're at with your technology and digital footprint within your procurement processes, and to help you plan for where you want to go. So those are the things that we're hoping to get through today. As I said, because I see we've still had a few people join us over the past few minutes, if you do have any questions, please don't wait till the end. Just put them in the chat or the Q&A along the way, and we will get to them. All right. So, Merx by the numbers, and I should say Merx by Sovra by the numbers. I apologize there. We'll get to Sovra in just a couple of minutes, but we are proudly Canadian. Our company is headquartered, our parent company is headquartered and located in Longueuil, Quebec. We also have many of our team members in the Ottawa region as well. We have about 90,000 active registered vendors, 3,000 participating buying organizations from throughout the country, 15,000 formal solicitations that were issued in the calendar year of 2024, and we have over 3 billion in total solicitations that were awarded through the platform within that calendar year. If those of you are not awarding your solicitations, please do. It really helps your vendor community. I know it's not within everyone's policies that they have to make that public, the award information, but it really does help those vendors and suppliers when they're trying to plan their sales pipeline, when they are trying to look back and gauge what their pricing should be to move forward with a future solicitation. That information is just really key in helping them prepare the best way that they can for responding to your tender and also to respond to your neighbor's tenders as well. All right, some updates. So in 2024, it was April 2024, Merx was acquired, and the parent company of Merx was acquired by KKR. KKR is an investment firm that really is looking to grow this solution and is looking to make some investments within the solution, both on the government buyer side, right? So through a GovTech solution of really being continuing to be a best in breed and grow those solutions that you all are looking to bring in through your digital transformation. So with everything throughout your procurement process, we're going to go through some of those here in a few minutes that are already in the works. And also on the suppliers side too. So to help your suppliers be able to grow their government business. Also in 2024, you may have noticed Sovra. So Sovra is a rebrand. It is now Merx by Sovra when you log in on the website. Sovra also has some entities within the US that really do the same thing for the United States municipalities and states as well. Sure. I was just asked, I'm just going to read the question. So in the Q&A, as a follow-up, can you provide some construction industry best practices on posting unofficial results at closing? 100% will do that. There is a really easy bid intent or award intent, excuse me, I got my words mixed up there, but award intent to award that you can do, but we will follow up, and Dan, if you can make note of that to follow up with some best practices there as well. So Sovra is our new brand name. Nothing has changed yet with the platform, but you will, over the next year or so, start to see a little bit more Sovra-esque come into the Merx platform as well. We have also just launched a really cool AI-driven support chat box. This is continuing to be improved upon. It's one of those things that will get better and more detailed and over time as AI works to build all of the responses. This is available both for you as a buying organization and for the vendor community. It has two separate ways, and it's really helped to it's there to help you get answers to those quick requests. If we can't answer it through the AI chat box, then it will prompt you and say, hey, we can't answer this as you ask the question. This needs to go on to our support team. Would you like me to send that on? And that will then send on your ticket and your question to our awesome buyer support team. Or if it's one of your vendors who's asking the question and logged in as a vendor, to our awesome vendor support team. We've also been working really hard from a development standpoint this last year on security and accessibility updates. So to the platform as a whole, making things much more secure, building out for the increase in tenders that are going out, the increase in suppliers that are joining the community, making certain that that your information is secure, that the supplier's information is secure and accessible to all, even those with visual impairments as well. We've also received multiple awards and recognitions over the year. I think we have those on the next slide that I'll be able to review. So if not, then I'll definitely follow up with them. But I'm going to answer, oh, it looks like Dan already answered. So yes, the recording, this will be recorded for those of you who may not have seen that as well. All right. Yes, so here's some of our recognitions and awards. AEP is a National Procurement Institute, and we are an AEP certified platform. We are also a Spend Matters customer favorite of 2024 and 52 watch in 2024. We do have a couple um, of cooperative contracts out there as NASPA Value Point, and we were also recognized as the 100 GovTech 10 Years Company of 2025 and in as a leader in the Spark Matrix that came out in December of 2024. So that was the year in review and kind of some yay, yay, rah, rah for Sovra and Merx. Now we're going to do a little bit of a deep dive into some core sourcing functionality that we have found is really beneficial to those who utilize it, but not many of you are utilizing it. So we're here to tell you more about it in case you are a new buyer or a new user within your organization. In case you're looking to, how can I configure things differently to work better with my processes? How can I save time with my tendering and looking for suppliers? Any policy change that we can help with, and any kind of DE&I initiatives or other reporting that you may need specific to your organization. That's why we're here, to share with you those things and to hopefully also learn from you of how we can work together to garner that change. So what I'm going to show you is not exhaustive of everything that we offer. If you're really looking for that full, hey, I want to see everything you offer. What am I not taking advantage of? How does this work with my goals? Please reach out to Dan. Dan, if you want to drop your email in the chat there, he would be happy to answer those questions, take you through and really learn about what your goals are and how we may be able to support that as well. So we work together really to garner change. It's something you're going to see a lot more of from Dan and from Merx in general, and Sovra as a whole, is to share best practices from your peer communities, both within Canada, but also throughout North America, with our peers within the United States as well. We're also looking to really garner change with our technology solutions, which we'll go through a little later on today with our roadmap, and through education. So if you are going to be at the CPPC, excuse me, event in, I believe that's April or May, then we will be there. Dan will actually be speaking on vendor outreach and some tips there. And we'll also be at another upcoming event, correct, Dan?
OPBA, yes.
Yeah, OPBA. So if you're going to be there, we will be there as well. And we hope to continue on these education type sessions too. So some of the things I'm going to show you are very what we call configuration based. So what you're going to see on the screen may not be exactly what you see when you log into your Merx by Sovra account. So don't be alarmed. If you don't see something, just ask. So on our backend, the way it works is that we need to know your processes. And so your processes may have changed over the past few years since we were originally set up on the Merx platform, or you originally registered to utilize the sourcing or the sourcing plus bid evaluation, etc. So whatever that is, we have configuration updates and new tools all the time. And so it's important that you kind of keep in contact with us. And if you see something that you like here that doesn't look the same, just ask us and we'll take you through that to ensure that you have access to those features and functionalities. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to talk about is a tool that not many people use. Some do, but not many people do. It's our certification and qualification module. I'm not going to show you this because it is so custom for your own processes, but it really helps reduce risk, enable that pre-qualified bidding to select suppliers and reduces your monitoring cost for any certifications that you're looking to have internally or qualification programs. Oftentimes we see this tied with some type of engineering or design or construction project. It allows you to have your current qualification or certification process that is traditionally offline, online in a much more cohesive process that's easy for your suppliers to submit all of their needed and necessary forms, answers to questions, documents, and is easy for you to look through and qualify those and then utilize that pre-qualified list to get out specific tenders, to rotate open, HVAC or air conditioning or construction needs, etc., across a pool of pre-qualified vendors. The next piece I'm going to talk about here is an approval workflow. So this can be set up pretty much on any of the modules that we have, but right now I'm going to speak specifically to sourcing, which each of you on the call already have access to and already use. Our approval workflow really ensures compliance, reduces risks, and it improves the collaboration within your own team. So below is an example of kind of a common solicitation creation workflow in which a buyer drafts a solicitation. And depending on the type and the dollar amount of the expected contract, different things happen. So, for example, if this draft of a solicitation was going to go out as an RFQ or an informal solicitation, then they would simply draft it, say it's a RFQ informal, and it would be approved immediately, and it would be published and distributed to the vendor community for them to come download documents, respond online, etc. Let's just say that in your process, you need anything that is a formal solicitation at a certain threshold, go to a manager. This can be used for everything. This can also be used for just one buyer. So you have a new buyer and you want to ensure that everything that he or she is doing is, you just want to have an extra set of eyes before it goes out into the public to be seen and viewed by all of the vendor community and taxpayers. Then you could have that go to a manager. A manager reviews it, approves it, and only upon that manager approval does it get published and distributed to our suppliers. And then you can do the same thing if you want then something from a threshold that's over 100K or 500K, whatever that requirement is, you could have multiple levels of approval attached to that before it was published and distributed. So this is a little tool, this approval workflow that's really great to help you with ensuring that compliance and reducing the risk. Sometimes we get phone calls from frantic buyers of, oh my goodness, I just launched this. One of the documents that I actually attached to it had, taxpayer information on it that I shouldn't have, or had something that was for clearance only, and we shouldn't have done that. Is there any way I can remove it? And so this helps reduce that risk of those types of mistakes. Doesn't 100% eliminate them because we're all human. Some people make mistakes. So when those mistakes do happen, do give our buyer support team a call or do that chat. But this really does help, especially for those that may be new buyers or for those special solicitation types or expected dollar amounts that need a little bit more of an approval process there. Just one last thing on this piece. My examples here of this over 100K, under 25K, whatever those dollar amounts are, remember this is not ever to be shown to the supplier. This is an optional field when you're setting up any type of solicitation that you can put in that is the estimated contract amount. So it's really, kind of what's in your budget for this. It will, again, not be shown to the vendor community. It's for your own reporting and for things like this that is on the solicitation workflow itself. All right. And I'm just marking that open question answered live because it keeps distracting me that we have another question. This next piece is pre-attached documents. So I have a screenshot for this. This is similar to the the approval workflow that can be different. This is, I can or you can attach pre-attached documents to all of your solicitations. So you can say for any construction tender, I need these 3 documents or these 5 documents attached. For any goods and services that is a formal solicitation or an informal solicitation or this or that, I can have these 7 documents attached, or I can have this terms of service, etc. So it takes that extra step away from your buyers of needing to find the right form, right? So if you have a terms of in service, a sample master agreement, a code of conduct, a conflict of interest form, any of those types of things, it'll ensures that it's the most up-to-date and recent version of that. And it also takes that step away from your buyers of having to remember that this is required for every tender that is in this type or goods. So this is 100% included in our sourcing platform that you already have access to. So if you're not using this now, it is something that you can set up if you have access to it. But if you're not using it now, you probably don't have access to it. So it's one of those things that you really do need to write this down or write in the chat, I want this, and we'll reach out and make sure this is configured. And it's a great tool for you to help save time and resources when putting out new tenders. Similar to that, there is also what we call a predefined bid document structure. So with our electronic bid submission feature that many of you do use, where the vendor community can respond electronically through the system. Right now, a lot of people just have it, a blank response, right? So they whether you have a single envelope or a double envelope, if it's a single envelope, vendors just upload their bid response to the tender in one form, or if it's a double envelope, they'll upload everything in this one place and then pricing in the next place, and then go on their merry way. This allows you to have this bid document structure, again, kind of predefined per solicitation type and notice type. So goods, service, construction, etc. If you have the same type of things that you're always asking vendors to upload, so, the past 5 projects, their references, their technical proposal, whatever those things may be, you can have those in here predefined, and then you can delete them if they're not needed before you issue the solicitation and send it out. Or you can make it a requirement the user can't delete it. From the vendor's perspective, it's really great because it gives them a line. Hey, here's where I need to upload my technical proposal. Here's where I need to upload this piece of information from a compliance standpoint. Here's where I need to upload my past 5 projects or my references, etc. So it's great for both your suppliers, plus it ensures, again, that you keep that standard, and you're also saving your buyers some time there from writing all of this out every time. I know oftentimes we get asked, well, how do I expand my outreach to the vendor community? Hopefully many of you are using this and know how to use this, but it's called courtesy email. And it allows you to search and either add um, email addresses of vendors that you may have gotten from your department head, from your end users, etc., that you can just plop in there, or it allows you to look through our and notify new suppliers through other avenues who are registered or were previously registered to Merx. And so this can mean that you want to look outside your province, maybe, if it's something that's a national um, solicitation that's a tender that's open to anyone, or maybe you want to look for and you want to open it up to any indigenous firms like throughout the country. You want to do these different things. You can utilize this courtesy email to look through both our existing active supplier or vendor database, as well as inactive. And if they're inactive, so that means they didn't re-register, they'll still get that email inviting them to learn more about your tender, and to re-register, to download the documents, and to access all of that information. Dan, are you keeping an eye on the Q&A?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah,
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yep.
All right. So the next piece is automated bid tabulation. So this is if you are utilizing line items within your solicitation. So within your tender, if you're looking for, uh, you know, this example is different types of paint, but maybe you are looking for 1,000 laptops for your school district, for your schools in your area, or you were looking for new desks throughout the entire province's offices, everywhere. Whatever that case may be, those line item, you have this automated bid tabulation that's available to you that shows you that information right on the screen to all of your responses. It's super easy. You can export it, but you can also look at it on the screen and do many things to it. You can look by pressing this lowest prices button at just the supplier who had the lowest price per line item. You can award um, different things right online here. You can say, okay, I needed 300 of this, but because these prices are pretty similar, they're not, they're still money off here, but if they were fairly similar, you could say, okay, I want this supplier to have 250 pails and this supplier to have 50 of those pails. And etc. So you can go through and you can do different things, or you can say, hey, I just want to see who the lowest bidder is across the board. And I'm only going to supply everything and award everything to that one supplier there. So it's a great online little recap and bid tabulation. That is fantastic. And if you use line item solicitations and you have line item bidding by your supplier community, this is a fantastic tool that shows you right there. Again, you can also export this out and do it in an Excel on your own, or you can do it right here on the screen as well. This question, I know we're gonna talk focused on construction stuff in a follow-up to the person who asked that question, but this is issuing intent to award and awards. So as I mentioned in the beginning, super helpful for the vendor community in doing their research, in planning out their year, in doing lots of different things, is knowing that's award information. And so there are different things that you can do. You can either um, send out and make public an intent to award, meaning I intend to award this supplier for this awarded value on this contract, but it hasn't happened yet, right? This is, you're kind of intending to, you still need to go through the negotiations, the contract terms, etc. Or there's also a type that's an award or a multi-award. So you can fill that out. You can decide whether you want to display who the vendor is, who won the award or the intent to award, or no, you want to keep that, to yourself. You can display the award amount, or you can simply say no, no, and you can upload a document of your own if you have your own award document that you send out, etc. You can do all types of different things. You can put in when the award date is going to be or is estimated to be, what the contract term is, and you can attach multiple documents as well. In addition to just being able to send this out and saying like, hey, now this is up on Merx, any vendor can see this and can research moving forward. You can also select to send different communications out. You can send a communication about this award out to the same message to anyone who ever followed your solicitation, meaning got notified of it, downloaded any documents, etc. Or you can send different emails out to the awardee, a regret email to anyone who bid but who did not get awarded on that tender, and a followers email, which is anyone who didn't bid, but they still had some kind of interest because they ordered and downloaded the documents, or they asked a question, or it matched their profile, and so they got alerted of it in the beginning. So it's a really great tool for you to keep track of all of this information, and for your supplier community as well. We also have in-depth reporting. So at the beginning, I mentioned, kind of knowing where you all were, what types of reports that you wanted to learn more about, or you wanted access to that matched your processes, etc. We do have something called, we have some standard reports that are within the reporting tab that I'll show you when I take you online in just a moment, in case you don't know where that is. But we also have in-depth reporting through BI. And we are about to, it's in our roadmap that we're going to expand this as well. But this is great. You can actually kind of pick and choose and build your own reports on information that you need. And not only can you build this report and then view it and have it run in Excel or an HTML live kind of active clickable report, but you can also schedule to have it sent to you every week or every 2 weeks, or have it sent to your team. If you have some kind of commissioners that you need to report to, or to your boss, or to anyone else at the city, or anyone who just needs this information on a regular basis, you can have that set up and the report will be sent to them automatically. So this is something, again, that we can configure in your account and show you that information. One last thing here, I believe this is the last thing, it may not be, is our vendor search for research. So if you have solicitations that aren't going to go out public, right? Because they don't meet the thresholds. You really just need 3 quotes, or you're looking for research. You want to do an RFI or a market research on something that you don't know much about, and your end user, can't give you that many details. So you need to talk to the vendor community and learn more. Oh, I just went too far. Sorry. Up here in this vendors, you're going to see a vendor search. And when you go to that vendor search, you're going to be taken to this page. You're going to be able to go through either advanced search or all these filters down the side and search for different vendors that are located in different regions. So down to the regional, Calgary, Edmonton area, that metro region area. And as well down here, it's based off of codes and different qualifications as well. So if you want to look for women-owned businesses or minority-owned businesses in the Winnipeg area, you can use these filters and then with some search terms and come up with a vendor list here to be able to get that information. Bid evaluation. So unlike that quick online evaluation we showed you before, this is for more complex RFPs and more complex solicitations. This takes your current bid evaluation process and really brings it online. So it automates the evaluation, the evaluator communication. So instead of you kind of running around chasing down your committee members that could be all over the place saying, hey, have you gotten to that? Have you gotten to that? It automates those communications and also shows you a view of at what percentage completed is each evaluator of the evaluation criteria. It improves the oversight and overall accountability of the evaluation itself because everything is tracked and audited online. And it ultimately saves your organization time and resources. So if you're not currently using the bid evaluation tool, it is a great thing to look at and have a demonstration of because it is something that is really takes your digital modernization journey that we'll hopefully talk about in just a couple of minutes to the next level. I'm spending a lot of time on this training piece. I apologize. Contract lifecycle management. We also offer a really robust CLM. So it is not just a repository for your contracts. It does include you being able to easily find and access contracts, but it really also manages that compliance, the key milestones of your contracts, the certifications and insurance that are attached to those contracts, the vendor that's attached to that contract, all of the original solicitation documents that are attached to that contract, the original bidders, so it keeps everything in one place and allows you to manage that contract compliance along the way. There is a track contract spending limits with automated reports. There's even more reports in our contract lifecycle management module. So again, this is one of those things that if this is something that you're looking to take to the next level, if right now you're using an Excel spreadsheet amongst you and your colleagues to manage these contracts, we can do it better, and you will be very thankful. Dan, you look like you have something to add here.
I was going to add that it's not only the repository sort of features and things, but it's also contract creation. So there's a contract creation process and RFX creation process, which includes collaboration internally, as well as once the contract is approved, you can use workflow to get that done, as Kim talked about workflow earlier on in the presentation. But thereafter, you can actually start collaborating with the vendors themselves right within the solution. And you can do all your redlining and things within the tool. Once it's agreed upon, you can directly in the system go through a signature process, and then it gets stored and put into management within the contract management tool. So it is a complete contract lifecycle management tool, not just that repository piece, and a very powerful one as well.
Yes. Thank you. So most of the things that I talked about right now we're in this bids and solicitation aspect. So some of the screenshots I told you, etc. I also talked about bid tabulation and contract management. We have a whole slew of source to contract tools that are available for you. I didn't talk about all of these today, but we have kind of everything here and more details that is available to your entire procurement process. All right, quickly, we're going to look at, because I know I said there'd be time. I know I said we'd log in online. I don't know. We'll see what we have time for. So what's on the roadmap are our priorities, our user experience. So we are continuing to simplify your user experience. We are doing that across all of our modules. We are also looking at process efficiency. So we're improving those tasks right now that today you're doing manually that are time consuming, error prone, and we're helping put those into the Merx by Sovra system. And we're providing buyers with, through strategic purchasing and strategic sourcing, more of the ability to analyze their purchases and identify different opportunities for cost savings. We're also working a lot on the supplier engagement piece. So we are working on improvements that are going to increase the participation from desirable suppliers. So here are a couple of actual timelines and dates that we're looking. So right now, our fiscal year is the same as the Canadian federal government. So we are in Q4 right now, about to move into Q1. So this is what we are looking at within each of those user experience, process efficiency, strategic purchasing, and supplier engagement. Some of the updates here that I wanted to focus on, the e-signature that Dan brought up within the contract management solution module, working on improved workflows for those e-signatures there. And this AI document review. So this is going to be started on fairly soon. This is going to look at through the what's called RFX creation tool, which is can be a part of the contract management or can be on its own. When you're looking at that, it's really taking um, a lot of different information from your own documents and from others and within the Merx platform, and coming up with a document to start from, a draft solicitation for different specs, etc. So it's a pretty cool, powerful thing that we're working on. And we're looking for people who may want to give us feedback on that. So if you are an organization that wants to have their input on what that looks like, please let us know so we can pass that on to the product team and get you into that user group as well. This just goes through all of that stuff and some more slides, so we'll share these slides with you as well. But I do want to at least walk you through a couple of these before our time is out today, which is that journey to maturity. So our team worked with practitioners to come up with these 6 stages of the journey to public procurement maturity. And a lot of it does focus on the technology side of things because that's what Merx offers. However, some of it within the paper that you document, and if you take this assessment, you're also going to see that a lot of it deals with your team and change management and process changes as well. So the six basic changes include basic, which is really you have manual processes. Stage two is developing. You're starting to digitize some documents, some processes. Stage three is you're on more of a generic system that works for your needs, but isn't procurement specific. Stage four is really you've come into an enhanced purpose-built solution, right? So something that is built for procurement, but it may not yet meet exactly the needs and be as configurable or customized as you need. Stage five is advanced or integrated e-procurement process. And stage six is you are fully optimized, you're collaborative and strategic, and although you've reached the top, this is probably the hardest place to stay because you have to keep up that collaboration and strategic thinking when you get to the stage. I am not going to have time today to get through each of these, but I will pass along this deck to people to be able to look through these different stages themselves. And then we do have this QR code that I really would advise you to take a screenshot of if you have your phone there, or we will also send you the link. I'm not sure if Dan, you have the link with you, but um, that you can actually take this assessment from yourself. You can both download the white paper and take an assessment to figure out where are you in those stages right now. It's a pretty, I don't know, it takes like probably 15 minutes to work through. I always like to tell people to you can do it on your own, but I also encourage you to really meet with your team and do it all together combined on your procurement team and work through and talk through the questions and the answers and figure out, okay, really, where am I? And this helps you develop a strategic roadmaps of not only where you are today, but where you want to go. And the white paper and our team can also help you on a path on how to get there. That meets, your change management needs, your budget, and really what your overall goals are. So, Dan, you unmuted yourself, so I'm guessing you have something to add there as well.
I was going to say that we've just uploaded the link
Okay, great.
to assessment within the chat.
Great. Thank you. So those of you who don't have your phone. All right. So I have my little thank you here, but I'm going to try to get online really quickly because I promised I would. Um, I want to show you one last thing online, if I can find it. All right.
While Kim's looking for that, I'm usually used to a conversational type of approach. So, but then maybe in another session, we can have an open panel and actually talk through some of these ideas and things and see where you guys are at.
And I think that's great. This was really in this format, I believe, just meant to be more informational. All right. If I am sharing, oh, here we go. Hopefully you can see this now. This is my screen that you can see when I'm logged into Merx. So I wanted to show you a couple of things. One, when I went over that vendor search, this is how you find that. You go to search right here and you're taken to all of the vendors. And then you can use the different filters here that you want to, or this advanced search to filter and look for specific vendors by region, by different categories, uh, keywords, names, etc. here. I also wanted to share with you where to find the reports. So I mentioned that you have different reports here. So here's where you would find those reports. You may or may not have this BI portal on your configurations. If you don't, that's where those automated reports that I talked about, of you being able to customize them yourselves and email them and set them up to be automatically emailed to either you or someone else. That's where you'll find those. One other quick thing that I wanted to share with you here is on the contacts. We often get the question of, hey, I have a new buyer, or hey, this person left. How do I do that? If you go to this little guy that's on top here, I call it the head and shoulders, you can manage who's on your Merx account. So please don't write down all these people's names because I'm logged in as someone else. So I apologize for that. But you can log in and you can add and delete people. So if you wanted to add someone new, you would simply press this add contact. This is really great if you obviously have a new buyer, someone who is new on your team as a data analyst, or someone who needs this or that. Even if you are working with a partner and you want them to have access and on your account because you want to be able to see everything, but maybe they are an engineer and are not working directly for the city, you can give them temporary access here and you can say what they are and are not allowed to do. So once you fill out all that information, you're going to select their roles and privileges. Our team at the buyer support team can also help you with this. But it is, once you understand it, it's pretty self-explanatory. If I want to say I want a buyer contributor, it's going to turn in green and add these little check marks to everything that that user is going to be able to do. If you want them to be read only, it's going to say, hey, they're going to be able to access and view these things, but they're not going to be able to add documents. They're not going to be able to look at audits, to manage any kind of contacts and add anyone else, etc. So each of these, there's even this external resource here that you could have someone who's really just able to come in and like view the profile and not do much else. You can scroll down and see what else they're able to do. So I wanted to share this because I think it's something that oftentimes we forget as buyers that are in here, that we can control who has access and who has what roles and privileges. And our buyer support team, again, is here to help you. But also remember that you can go in just by clicking this contacts here and updating that. All right. So I think now we still have 9 minutes left. If there's any other questions that haven't been answered. Okay, I think everything. Thanks, Dan and Blake, for answering everything in there. Anyone have any other questions? You're welcome. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, and Dan, you put in your email information earlier, right?
I think so. I'm
All
just.
right, you want to plop that back in. Honestly, if you need to go through any of those other features and functionalities, if you want to see that awesome contract lifecycle management solution that we were talking about before, reach out to Dan. Like that's part of his job, is to really help you understand what tools are available and how it will fit into your organization's processes, right? So a lot of what he is going to do is going to learn from you on what do you do now? What do you want to do? What are your pain points? So it's great to reach out to him and find out that information. All right, anything else to add, Dan? I know I zoomed through and I was chatty. But I may have zoomed through things a little too much. I guess we had 8 minutes to spare, but everybody can now go and eat their lunch if you weren't eating it while I was talking.
Yeah. Wow. Really just to sum up that, yeah, we are, and I think what I try to do every day is get people to realize we're more than just that posting site. We're a full source to contract solution with many social or different pieces that could help out the process, as well as to echo a little bit of what Kim said earlier about the roadmap. There's a lot more detail to the roadmap that we could share, but that would probably be an hour and a half presentation because it is very exciting to see that investment from KKR come in and actually show itself materially by producing some really strong things over the next few months and shorter term. And jumping into AI is something that's very exciting to me. And some of the things that they're showing us, even at the Sovra Summit that we had this year, the first ever, which was in Chicago, I'd recommend next year considering going if you can, because it was a huge success, but we want to make it bigger and better next year. And some of the things that they showed there from an AI perspective were so exciting. So can't wait to share more of those little tidbits with you as we go forward.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you all so much for your time. We really appreciate you being here. Dan, thanks for joining. And we will be in touch. Have a wonderful rest of your week, everyone. And please do reach out for any questions on these configurations and the training features that we went over today or the modules. Thank you all very much.
Thanks, guys.